I grew up in very humble beginnings. I grew up surrounded by working class people. Yeah, these are my folks. Yeah, that's an old one.
Got a photo of you there and your parents and your stepbrother, your half-brother?
Half-brother, yes. So that's my dad and my mother, they were school teachers. My brother is my half-brother because we came from the same biological mother, but a different biological fathers adopted into the same family. Kind of a complicated story.
Your biological mother adopted you at 16 years old.
Put us up for adoption at 16 years old. She was 16, and then about 3 years later, she had another little boy, and Patrick, was then adopted by the same parents.
And they were two teachers that adopted you and Patrick?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I still remember when we went to pick him up. It was, so we went to this, we got a phone call, and he said, well, there's a little boy who happens to be half-brothers with Pierre. Would you like to adopt him too? And I said, absolutely. So we went over to this building, and we walk into this room, and there were all these rows of babies. And we walked past them, and then they said, that's him right there. And that was when I met my brother. We picked him up. That's why I thought that's where babies came from. There was a store. We go to a store and get your groceries. There's a store where you can go and get a baby. That's what I thought, because that was my first experience with it. And we brought him home. And we grew up in working class neighborhoods. When I was about 3, 4-ish, we lost everything. We got smashed by high interest rates. My mother had saved up enough to buy 2 little rental properties. We lost those and our home, and had to borrow from our grandfather to get a down payment so we'd have a place to live. My dad was driving this Oldsmobile that was falling apart, and our neighbors were, working class folks. They were just, electricians, oil workers, police officers. So those are the people I grew up with. And I always grew up admiring those people. Admiring what they were able to do, and believing that they were generally taken advantage of by government, never listened to, and definitely then kept on the outside of decision making. And my mission has been to bring back what I call the promise of Canada, that anyone can achieve anything. Doesn't matter if you start off as an adopted kid raised by school teachers, or an immigrant from Botswana who grows up really poor. If you work at it, you should be able to buy a house, launch a business, become a famous global podcaster, or maybe cure a disease. And that was what Canada was all about, and that is what I'm trying to reinstate.